All right, today I'm going to show you how to do this. We are going to customize our panels. We can either put personal images on it, you can put stickers, you can put logos, pretty much whatever you want. The Huey happens to be a great panel for it because it has lots of space to do that. Let's get into this. So the first thing you're going to need is you're either going to need Photoshop or GIMP. Either one of those will open a DDS file with the appropriate plugin. Now, a DDS file is not a JPEG, it's not a PNG, it's not a GIF. So it's a very specific file for gaming. And again, it's a DDS file. Now, in order for Photoshop or GIMP to open it, you're going to need to have a plugin for it. Now, I use Photoshop, so in order for me to get that plugin, I'm going to go to this webpage. This is the NVIDIA Texture Tools Explorer. Once you're here, you have this option here. This is the standalone. Like if you had GIMP, you would probably download that one. I have Photoshop, so I'm going to download this one. Now, once you download it, it may be a zip file. You'll have to unzip it and then open the exe file, which is going to launch the installer, which is going to put that plugin right in the correct folder within Photoshop or GIMP, I believe. So once it's installed, I'm ready to go. All right, so the next thing you're going to need is you're going to need to go to DCS, digitalcombatsimulator.com, to find the skin you want. So once you're there, now again, we're working today specifically for the Huey. There are other aircraft that have panels that you can adjust, but there's not a whole lot of real estate. They're full of dials. So it may or may not work for you, but this will give you a good idea of how to do it. And then if you happen to find a panel for another aircraft that you can manipulate, then at least you'll know how to do it. So the Huey is very simple. Now, the first thing we need to do is we need to download a skin for the Huey. So I'm at Digital Combat Simulator right here, DCS. So I'm going to go to the downloads. I'm going to go to user files. Now, once that's open, we're going to go to type. We're going to filter this out. So the type of user file that I want is the skin. I'm going to hit skins. This other stuff doesn't make any difference to me. However, this unit is talking about the aircraft. So I need the skins for the UH-1 Huey. I want it to show me all the skins for that. So once we have the skins, we have the unit is the UH-1 Huey. I'm going to hit the show button. Then it's going to show me all the skins that are available. So as you can see, there's 39 pages. There's 39 pages of skins. However, the one that I want to work with today, which is one that I have already installed, so I'm just going to kind of work around that one because it's easy. It was created and uploaded by DishDoggie. Now, I reached out to him to ask permission to use his files and things, and he said, totally fine. However, you'll notice that if you're going to download a file, a user file, and you're going to manipulate it, it'll tell you whether you can redistribute it or not. In this particular case, it says it's a free version. However, it says do not redistribute. In other words, if you recreate what they've done, they don't want you to redistribute it, to upload it here and call it yours, because that's not yours. Now, we can manipulate these, alter these for our own personal use, like what I do. I'll redesign these and then use them for my skins because I'm a content creator and I want to show off whether it's a sponsor logo or put my name on the aircraft or change the panels. You know, I want to personalize it and make it mine. So this is why I do it. Again, it's for personal use. I do not intend to redistribute it. Now, there are some skins in here that will say you can redistribute it if you want to. So just be aware of that. If you're going to download these, be aware, take note of the do not redistribute or the fact that you can redistribute. Okay, so the one that I want from DishDoggie, and he did an amazing job on this Coast Guard skin, this bad boy right here. So as I scan through it, sometimes you'll see a shot of the panel like this within the skins. This is just giving me a rough idea of what's inside the folder. You may or may not see this panel, so it's kind of a hit and miss whether you're going to download a skin that actually has a panel. This particular one has a panel, which is this one. and I'm looking at it and thinking, okay, there's a lot of real estate here I can use. Of course, he's got pictures here and a sticker there, but I'm probably going to erase those and put some of my own stuff in to make it mine. And I'll show you how to do that. All right, so let's get out of here. So we know that that one's here. We would hit download. It's going to download it. And then let me just download it. Okay, now that it's downloaded, you'll see that it's a zip file. So you're going to need something to unzip it. I happen to use, it's called, the unzip program that I use is called Brezip. Breezip. This is this one. It's a free download. There are several out there, so just pick the one you want. I use the free version. So here is the folder. Now, if I click on it, it'll show me these are all the files that are in there. So this is perfect. I'm going to go back. Now, what I would do in this case, now keep in mind, I already have this folder in my liveries folder, so I'm not going to actually do it, but I'm going to show you how you would do it. In my case, you can just copy this, copy it, and then you would open your, you would open your DCS saved folder, not the Eagle Dynamics folder where all the main folders are. You really don't want to jack with those. You want to go to the saved folders. Now, in my case, I have it in the D drive, and I'm going to navigate down to users, and then to me, save games, and then DCS open beta. Now, as you can see, all these files are the actual working files within DCS. If you don't have a liveries folder, you need to create one, and you need to make sure that you spell it exactly like this, and paying attention to the capitals and the lowercase. So this is the liveries. Make sure that you have this in your user save games folder, your DCS, in my case, DCS open beta. Again, these are all the operating folders that it needs. So we're going to open the liveries. Now these are all the aircraft that I have skins for. These are all the aircraft that I have loaded in here and that I have skins. So we're going to navigate down to our UH1 because that's the folder or the aircraft that we're dealing with today. Now again, I already have this folder in here. It is called the U.S. Coast Guard 255, which is U.S. Coast Guard 255. So in the normal sense, I would either copy it and then just drop it in here and paste it, and then hit the paste. In this case, it would be that one, paste it, or Control V. I would paste it into this livery folder, and then I would open it up. Let me find it. I would open it up, and then these are the folders that are in it. So what I'm looking for is the panel folder, or the panel file rather. I want the original one. That happens to be this one. It's the UH1 underscore panel underscore C underscore gray. So let's verify though that DCS is actually seeing this skin, because you don't want to spend time working on this and then realize that it's either not in the right folder or something's wrong and you just wasted your time. So let's go over to DCS, and then we're going to open a mission that I created, and we're going to verify that it is actually seeing that skin. Okay, so now that we're in the Huey, let's take a look at the outside. That's the Huey. That's the skin he created. It's beautiful. It's one of my favorite Coast Guard ones, by the way. So now here's the panel. As you can see, this is the original panel that came with the skin. There's the sticker. There's the picture of the hot babe. And you can see there's places here we can put stuff. There's stuff over here. And of course, we can always remove these images too. And that's what I'm going to show you, how to remove those and then how to insert your own images on there. All right, so let's get out of here. Let's go back to here. And again, we're going to open that panel one. It's this one here. So let's open that one. And again, it's going to open in Photoshop because that's the one I prefer. You can either use Photoshop or you can use GIMP. Either one, as long as it opens a DDS file. Okay, so here's your panel. Now, as you can see, there's two sections of it. This particular section here, let me change this. This particular section here is the panel on the right, which would be the pilot's panel. And this one down here is the panel for the co-pilot, the pilot on the left. Now, as you can see, there's other stuff on here, which is part of the aircraft. And if you were to open other files in this thing, you'll see parts of the aircraft that you might recognize and you may not recognize. This is the skins of the 3D graphics or the 3D software that goes underneath, if you will. It's like a skin on your bones, if you will. All right, so first thing we want to do is let's remove these images because I want to put my own on there. Now at this point, it'd be a good idea for you to find something that you want to put on there. So let's do the very simple thing, and what we're going to do is we're going to stamp tool this away because as you can see, it's only one layer. So to do that, I'm going to hit my stamp tool. Now in Photoshop, you have all your tools over here to the left, and I'm going to use the stamp tool, which is this one. Now I can either select it there or I can hit the S key, the shortcut key, and it gives me a stamp tool. Now let me zoom in. To zoom in, you can hit the Z key or you can hit this magnifying glass down here. I'm going to zoom in right here so that I can work around that. Now I'm going to go back to the stamp tool by hitting the S. So there's my stamp tool. That circle there is the size of my my cursor, my prompt, I guess, if you will. Now what I want to do is I want to get rid of this. So I'm going to copy and paste this texture right here, or this texture all the way around it, on top of it. It's going to basically make a copy. Now you select the texture you want. Well, first of all, let me tell you where you can change the size of your cursor. If you go over here, in my case, this is the way my Photoshop is set up. You have the size of your cursor right here, and you can see it's huge now. Or you can make it smaller. You make it smaller. So let's go, I don't know, somewhere in there. I can deal with that. Okay, so now that we got the size of the brush that we're happy with, we need to tell it, I want to copy this, and I want it to copy over this. So you put the cursor where you want, you hit the Alt key, the left Alt. I don't think it matters, honestly. It does not matter whether it's the left or the right. In my case, I'm going to hit the left. I'm going to select that, and you see how the cursor turns into a bullseye. I'm going to hit the left mouse button right there. Now it's going to, as you can see, it's already showing me the pattern that it's going to cover up, or that it's going to replace the image that's there. So I'm just going to move this around, and now you'll see me do you'll see the cursor turn into a target again because I'm getting a new grab. I'm getting a new area that I wanted to copy. Now the way you copy it is you select it, the Alt, tell it I want to copy that, and then you put the cursor over the image you want to copy over, and you hit the left mouse button. So you can do that. Oops, you can do that as many times as you want. So I'm just going to keep working this. Now, I'm going to put an image over this, so it doesn't really matter what this looks like. And if you want it to be, really detailed, you can keep grabbing different sections. You can grab one section and then just do a big swipe like that. And you see it even copied that section right there, which I don't want. So let's just do that. Let's totally get rid of that. Now, even if I wanted to cover that, I could cover that. Look at that. Oops. And now that's gone. I don't like that. So we're going to undo that because I liked it there. In order to undo, you hit the Control Z, and it'll undo. If you hit that several times, it'll undo several steps back. So let's pick another area here, and then again, let's just keep erasing this. And I just keep grabbing different sections because I want it to blend. You see here, we're kind of looking screwy. So I just wanted to blend. And again, we're going to put an image there, so I'm not really too worried about it. All right, let's zoom out. To zoom out, you hit the Z key, the Alt, and then it turns that plus into a minus, and then I can zoom out. And let's do the same thing down here because I want to use that real estate right there to put my own images on. So back to the stamp tool, and I'm going to say I want to copy that area, and then I'm just going to quickly go through this. I don't really care what it looks like because I don't care if it blends. See how we have the darkness right there? I'm not too worried about that because we're going to put an image over it, and it's going to be small in the cockpit anyway, so you're probably not going to see too much of it. Now you can be as detailed with this as you want, or you can do it like I'm doing it, just get it done. But erasing is very simple within Photoshop. And I know that there's other ways you can do it, but this is what works for me. So I'm going to show you how I do it. Now, I'm no expert at any of this. I just jump in. If I don't know something, I'll figure it out and go for it, man. Now, I've been in the TV business for about 30 years, almost all my life. So I've done lots of graphic work. So Photoshop is really not difficult for me. I understand enough of it to be dangerous. All right, let's get that stuff out of the way. All right. Oops. All right, now we're going to zoom out. All right, now I got a clean palette to work with. All that is gone. So now I want to start putting my images in it. I think that I'm going to navigate over now. Let's see. We need to open. All right, we're going to put this one on there. Okay, so there's that image. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to grab this image and I'm going to, now you see that this is its own file and then this is the other file. So we're going to take this image and put it over that one. But you do that by selecting that, make sure that you are on that file, hit the V as in Victor, hold the key and grab it with your mouse and it'll superimpose it over the other one. Now it's a new layer on that file that we were, or on the panels. Now we're done with this fold or this file, so let's get rid of that one. Again, so now we have two different layers on this file. Let's position this where we want it, and we're just going to drop it right there. Or actually, yeah, let's put it right here. All right, now let me zoom in on that. So there's that file. Now I like to just kind of jazz it up a little bit. So I'm going to hit the Control T is the transform tool, and you see I can resize it with that, make it any size I want. I'm going to put it like that, but I like to just kind of tilt them off just a bit. Kind of makes it look more, a little bit more realistic. So I'm going to shrink it down and I'm going to make it like that, and then I'm going to hit the OK. So now that's there. Now, as I back out, I could leave it like that if I wanted. You know, there it is. But I like to put that little piece of tape on it so that it looks like it has tape. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new layer. Come down here to the plus, and there's my new layer. And I'm going to create something that looks like a tape. So I'm going to grab this rectangle tool, and I'm making sure that I'm on that new layer. I'm going to just kind of place it like that. Now I'm doing that by going to the marquee tool, or the marquee tool. It's a rectangular, and you make the different size by using your left mouse, just grabbing it, and then you just make it any size you want. So I'm going to make it about that size there, and I'm going to move it. I want it to be right about there. Now, as you can see, it's only a selected area. I need to paint that in. Well, I want that tape to look like transparency tape. So I'm going to select white here. I'm just going to go up there and make it white. And then I'm going to get my bucket tool. Right here, the tool's on the left. And I'm going to fill that in. And again, I'm making sure that I am on that layer. So now that it's there, I'm going to deselect it by hitting the Control D. So now it's deselected. Now it looks like just a white piece of solid tape. Now I want to make it transparent some, so I'm going to take it down, make it transparent. I don't know what, I'm looking at transparency tape, kind of. That's the idea. So I'm going to go, I don't know, about there. I like that. So now that we have it looking like tape, let me back that out. There you go. There's that. Now if I wanted to add something up here, let me add something up here. Let's add Farrah. All right, so we're going to add Farrah to this thing. So there's Farrah Fawcett. All right, same thing. We have her there. I'm going to grab her image, drag it over, and there she is. I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, so now she's a new layer on here. As you can see, she's layer number 2. I'm going to hit the V key so I can position her where I want, and I want her to go right there in that spot. But as you can see, she's too big. So I'm going to hit the Shift and the T. I'm sorry, the Control and the T. I get the Transform tool. I'm going to resize her down to fit in that spot. Kind of about there. I'm going to hit OK. And then again, I'm going to kind of offset it a bit. Oops. And you see how the cursor changed? Right there, I'm grabbing one of the white squares. I can resize it this way. But if I hold it out a little bit further, it turns into the arrows that are pointing in different directions. So then I can cock it over a bit. All right, so I like that. We're going to do that. And then we're going to do the same thing with the tape. Now I can recreate the tape, or I can simply grab it from down here. Let's see, make sure I'm working on the right one. I'm going to grab that tape, and I'm going to grab it, this layer. I'm just going to drag it into the plus, and I'm going to create a duplicate. Or you can probably just hit the right mouse key, and it'll duplicate that as well. Give you a duplicate. So there it is. Now I have two pieces. I need to move that particular one, and I'm going to move it up here. Let me zoom in, hitting the Z key. All right, let me reposition that. All right, so again, I'm going to hit the Control T. I'm going to resize it. And I'm going to do something like that. I don't want to mess up fair. There we go. So now it looks like a piece of tape. All right, let's take a look at it. Oh, we're going to do something like that. I like that. Let's add one more piece to it. Let's add DCS. Let's add this sticker. All right, so now we're going to add the DCS sticker. I'm sure they'll love that. So we're going to grab this. We're going to drag it down here just like we did before. And let's get rid of that. So there it is right there. You know what? Actually, it looks great just like that. I'm going to leave it that size. And I'm just going to leave it right there. All right, so now you notice that we have all these layers within this file. DCS or a DDS file can only be one layer. So we have to compress them down. You do that by going to Layers. And I'm going to say flatten image, and it's going to take all those layers and make it into one. See, now it's on one. All right, so we have Farah, we have personal pictures there, and we have a DCS sticker. Now we need to save as. Once you save as, it's going to give you the file name here, but you don't want to change any of that. You want to keep it just like it is because you want to overwrite the existing one. And again, it's a DDS file. We're going to hit save. Make sure we're in the same folder, in the correct folder, U.S. Coast Guard. Yes, this is exactly where it's at. We're going to hit save, and it's going to say, hey, this one already exists. Do you want to replace it? Yes, I want to replace it. So I'm going to hit yes. It's going to give me this box. I'm going to hit save. All right, so now that file is saved as a DDS file, and it's the custom one. So now let's go back to DCS. In order for it to reload to see it, you're going to have to you may have to restart your DCS. So let's start DCS. Now, as you make changes and you test this thing, every time you open it and you open DCS, it's going to show you your latest adjustment. But if you go in there and adjust your DDS file again, you will have to relaunch your DCS so that it reloads the new images that you created within that folder. All right, so now we're back in DCS, and you can see this is our new panel. There's Farah, there's my personal images, and then there's the DCS sticker. Let's get rid of these things. Take a look at that. See how easy that is? So there it is on your panel, and again, you can put anything you want. The stickers, you can write on it, anything you want to do. So today you've learned how to erase images that are on there and then replace them if you wanted to, and this is very simple way of doing it. You don't need any 3D software or anything like that to do it. So let's step out of here. I want to show you one more thing. I'm going to jump in the weeds a bit. Do not close this up until you've confirmed in DCS that everything is there the way you want it. Because if you have to go back and readjust things, as you can see, it's one layer, so you really can't adjust them unless you go back and redo the stamp tool over these again. However, if you leave it just like this without closing Photoshop or making any adjustments, you can come up here to edit and you can undo things. You see, now I have my layers again, and I can undo all these things. I can go back several spots where you can see I can remove images and all that. And then if I'm liking this, or if I got to make adjustments, you know, there's the layers I can make adjustments on. So once you've verified that that it is the way you want, that DCS does like it, then you can close this and use it any way you want. Now I'm going to get in the weeds. This particular file, this particular folder of skins, the U.S. Coast Guard 255, this particular folder had a panel. However, there are other skins in here that do not have a panel. So what we need to do, or they may have a different panel. What we need to do is we need to come in here, and if you want to have that same panel on all of your skins within your saved folder, you can do that. It does take a little bit of effort, but it's very simple. So let's say that that particular folder we created is this one, and it is going to be this one. It doesn't show you because we've manipulated it, but I know that it's the UH1 underscore panel underscore C underscore gray. So the other folders that I have in here are not going to have that file because this one was specific for this particular Coast Guard skin. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to copy it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to move over to the other folders. I'm going to go to, let's say, I don't know, let's go to Orange County. We'll go to Orange County. Okay, so let's transfer that file into this folder. That way, when I open up the Orange County File Authority, it will have the same panel. So we're going to paste it in here. Now it's saying that we want to replace it because there's already a file in here that's called that. So we're going to say yes. Now, when I open this skin, it's going to show that file. In this particular folder, I have 2 different panels, maybe 3 different panels in here that I've previously created. So if I wanted to open that particular file, what I'm going to do is I need to adjust the LUA file, the Lua file. You find that in the description file right here. So what I'm going to do is I want to make sure that the name is 100% correct. It has to be 100% correct. So I'm going to select that, and then I'm going to copy it by hitting Control C. And then I'm going to open the description. Now, description, I think mine opens up in Notepad. There might be some specific ones that application that you may need to open this file, but I think I'm using Notepad, so it's nothing fancy that you'll need for it. And if it tells you need to download something, a particular program, then download the particular program. All right, so we know that it's called a panel, and it's a C underscore gray. So as I look down my scripting here, here's the panel one right here. So it's saying that when I launch this skin, it's going to load this particular panel. Now, I know that this section right here is the one that I had in there previously. So I know that the one that we just worked on is UH1 underscore panel underscore C underscore gray. Oops, get rid of the G. Now be very specific that you leave everything else in there. And now this one says false. If it was to say true, then it would load the default UH1 cockpit or panel. Because it says false, it's telling the main structure of DCS, don't open the default, open this one. So if it's not opening in what you've created, make sure that it says false here. So again, the new one that we just worked on and created is UH1 underscore panel underscore C underscore gray, and then again I told it to be false. So up here at the top, you're going to save it. There you go. Now we're going to shut that one down, and again, this is the Orange County. So we're going to go to, we want to verify that it's there. We're going to open DCS just to verify. Now, what I've done is I've copied that one and I've put it in every single one of my UH1 user skin folders because I want that same panel to appear on all of them. Once you copy and paste it into that folder, you're going to have to go in and change your script in order that it reads that it reads that correct file, so that when it launches, it puts that panel on there. So let's just verify that it's going to open correctly or that it's there in the DCS. And that one was Orange County. So we're going to go to Mission Editor. I'm going to open that particular mission. We're going to select that Huey. Let's go to the skin. And we're looking for Orange County Fire Authority, which is that one. So that's the Orange County. Now we can't see the inside of the panel from here, so I'm going to launch it. And let's say no, we don't want to save that. Let's launch it so we can get a look at that panel just to verify that it's there. Now don't be intimidated by the file structure and all that. It's very simple. If you happen to get lost, just backtrack. And there it is. There's our images, there's FARA, there's the DCS. So we did verify that we did put it in the correct folder, and we did change that description file to find this particular panel. So now anytime you open this aircraft, every time you select this livery or this skin, this panel is going to be on there. And then again, you can copy and paste this into all of your folders as long as you change the Lua file to read this particular file. So it's that simple. Now there are, of course, F-18s and other aircrafts that have panels. It's somewhat more difficult to do it on other aircraft because, of course, they have all the dials. And again, you have to be lucky enough to find a panel that you can use. Now that you have an idea of how it works, you can simply apply it to other panels, other software, things like that. I am working on another video, a how-to video on how to change things on your skin, as I mentioned earlier. So look out for that. Be sure to like, subscribe, make a comment. If you get lost or have a better way or want to share some of your ideas, by all means, leave them in the comments. I appreciate your time and your effort. If you'd like to buy me a cup of coffee, there's a link in the description or down in the details. Any kind of donations, any kind of support is totally super appreciated. So once again, have an awesome day. Don't be intimidated by this graphic stuff. If you have any questions, let me know. See ya.